Economic history. Lesson objectives. To describe the country's economic history through issues of agrarian reform, taxation, and trade policies. To identify how economic problems of the present are rooted in past decisions and events. To evaluate the trajectory of the Philippine economy through an understanding of its development throughout history. And interpret visualizations of historical economic data using historical sources. Key concepts. Encomienda system. A Spanish labor system instituted in their colonies where the conquerors become encomenderos who were rewarded with an encomienda, a piece of land and labor of the local inhabitants of the land. Hacienda. Large land holdings owned by privately or by religious orders that in the 18th century focused on the agricultural production for the cash crop economy. Free trade. An international trade policy that sets no tariffs, quotas, or other restrictions to imports or exports. Inflation, a general increase in prices and the fall in the purchasing value of money. Economic liberalization, the reduction of government regulation and restriction in the economy to allow greater private sector participation. Lesson Introduction. Economic history is the study of past economic events and institutions using economic theory. By examining the Philippines' economic past, we can understand how colonial powers exploited the country's resources and how post-war agreements impeded its growth. This historical lens helps us grasp how the political and economic interests of the elite have shaped the nation's development, influencing the economic decisions of today and tomorrow. The three crucial economic issues in Philippine history: agrarian reform, taxation, and trade policies. Agrarian reform. Agrarian reform is a key issue as the agricultural sector employs nearly half of the population. It focuses on the relationship between agricultural production and the distribution of land among farmers. Historically, the root of these issues lies in the colonial period. When the Spanish colonized the Philippines, they introduced the Pueblo system, where the King of Spain owned all the land, and Filipinos cultivated it by paying tribute in agricultural products. This evolved into the encomienda system through the Law of the Indies, where the Spanish crown granted land tracts to religious orders, military personnel, and encomenderos. The system was abusive, with farmers being forced to sell products at low prices or surrender them entirely. The hacienda system emerged in the 19th century as the Philippines entered the global market as an exporter of raw materials. To meet demand, large estates were developed. A major problem arose in the 1860s when Spain mandated land registration. Many peasants' families, unaware of the law, lost their ancestral lands to those who had them titled. This shift of pre-colonial communal land ownership to a system of private titling is a primary reason for frequent agrarian revolts in the Philippines. Taxation and trade policies. It mentions the importance of understanding the history of taxation to comprehend how the current system works. It emphasizes that taxation has been a vital source of government revenue since the colonial era. Finally, that's the significance of trade policies throughout history in understanding the Philippine economy's development. By studying these historical policies, we can see how the country's economic trajectory was shaped by its role as an exporter of raw materials and an importer of finished goods. And engaging with this economic history is vital for Filipinos to understand the current economic landscape and prepare for its future effects.